Hello and welcome to the Candidates Forum for Los Angeles County Sheriff, brought to you by SCVTV, KHTS AM-1220, the Signal newspaper, and COC Cougar News.
My name is Jim McDonnell, and as a candidate for LA County Sheriff, I've got 29 years of experience with the Los Angeles Police Department, starting in the academy and working my way up through the number 2 in the department under Chief Bill Bratton, and the most recent 4 years as Chief of Police with the Long Beach Police Department. As such, I bring an outside perspective, a fresh set of eyes to the issues we're dealing with within the LA County Sheriff's Department. I'm running because we need to restore public trust in a great organization. We need to restore morale and pride within that organization because people work better when they're happy with what they're doing and when they take that level of pride. In order to do that, we need to instill accountability at every level of the organization. We need to put systems, command accountability systems in place so that we set the bar high. We set milestones in order to get us to our goals, and we hold people accountable for their performance and their behavior in getting us there. We talk about the jails, and you'll hear a lot about the jails today. I sat as a commissioner on the Citizens Commission on Jail Violence, and for a year looked very closely at the issues in the jails and those issues which permeated the department from the jails. I was the president last year of the LA County Police Chiefs Association, the 45 independent cities throughout the county. I have their full endorsement, and I've worked very closely with them. I was the former president of the California Peace Officers Association, and I'm currently a commissioner on the California Peace Officers Standards and Training Commission. I have endorsements, broad-based community, business organizations, Republicans, Democrats across the aisle, and the endorsement of significant police agencies or police organizations as well.
In light of the recent concerns that have plagued the Sheriff's Department and Sheriff Leroy Baca's early retirement, what do you do to restore public confidence for those who are concerned about the department? Thank you,
and I agree. It starts at the top with setting the tone. As Commissioner on the Jail Violence Committee, we did a report that laid out 63 recommendations for change, not only in the jail but throughout the organization. That would be a foundation for us to move from. Not a goal, but a foundation, a starting point, and we move forward from there. We need to set very clear expectations as to what we demand from our employees, level of behavior, level of performance. We need to set systems in place so that we can measure our performance against the standard that we set. Accountability is, at the end of the day, where we're trying to draw the organization toward. I helped set up the CompStat system in Los Angeles Police Department. We have a management accountability system in the Long Beach Police Department. Both work. Their basic business 101 structures will do that in the Sheriff's Department. You look at the structure, the culture of the organization, driven by leadership. I have the experience to be able to bring to the table what's necessary to put these in place so they gel together.
The next question is, how much oversight is too much as far as civilian involvement and intervention from the political arena?
Oversight is critical. How much is too much? That's a good question because it truly does need to be a balance. The sheriff has the ability to be able to work effectively and collaboratively with the Board of Supervisors. We need to work very closely with the Inspector General that's been appointed. By doing so, we open up a level of transparency that may be unprecedented in the organization, but one that is desperately needed to be able to restore public trust. At the LAPD, I had the opportunity to work closely with the Department of Justice as they implemented a consent decree. There was a federal judge involved in that oversight. The drill down on that was extensive. We had the ability to look at every system, every function within the organization, and from that, some great lessons learned. That is now a better organization. I have the experience that brought about to be accountable to the public, to be transparent. We can get it done ourselves, or we can have it done for us. And I certainly, as sheriff, want to move forward, put the systems in place that we will do it for ourselves, but we'll be accountable to the public.
There have been mixed reviews for education-based programs offered by the Sheriff's Department. What do you think of such programs, and how would you work to make them more effective?
Education-based incarceration, as you mentioned, has had some mixed reviews, and I think that's because that, as Todd said, it has been done in somewhat of a haphazard fashion. I think we need to bring in some outside evaluators from our universities here locally to be able to take a look at it, to be able to see are we doing it in such a way that it is the most efficient way to deliver education to the inmates that we're dealing with. We need to develop tailored lesson plans so that the individuals that we're trying to help, we're actually helping them as well as we can. Our goal is to be able to return them to society in a way that they're better off than when they came in. But we also need to be able to have them work toward a GED or a high school diploma when they leave the inmate setting and they go back onto the streets. And we need to do everything we can to be able to set them up for success. This is a step in the right direction. We need to continue to hone it and make it as good as it possibly can be.
As was previously mentioned, AB 109 has been roundly criticized by law enforcement officials. How would you lower the recidivism rate?
Yeah, AB 109 has been criticized. I think the implementation was not well thought through. It's something that resulted not only from the budget at the state level, but also from the 3-judge panel upheld by the Supreme Court that the state prisons were overcrowded. So there was a mandate that about 40 to 45,000 inmates be reduced from the state prison system. So with that mandate, we're now dealing with that at the county level, at the local level. We've put together in LA County a task force broken into regions throughout the county where we focus our efforts with the money we've received from the state in ensuring compliance and ensuring that we know where AB 109 people released, where they are living. Much of the information we've gotten in the past has been bad information. So we're trying to corroborate that. We're trying to focus and monitor the people that need to be monitored to let them know that we're there for them, but we're watching them. And to be able to put into place a better system to be able to track those that have been released per AB 109. And that takes collaboration of all of the organizations within the county working together to be effective.
The city of Santa Clarita is the sheriff's largest contract city. When the city of Santa Clarita funds a higher level of police services than does the county in the unincorporated areas, how do you ensure that police services in the unincorporated areas of the Santa Clarita Valley stay comparable?
Thank you. And you've heard, I think, a lot of the same answers here, and there's a reason for that. Contract cities are our customers as the organization, and it comes down to fairness. It is a contract, and we need to live up to the contract. We need to tailor to the individual needs of the particular city what our services will be, and those will vary from city to city. We need to use command accountability systems to be able to measure, are we giving the cities what they deserve, what they need, and to meet their priorities. We need to hold the station captains accountable for meeting those needs, for having the relationships that they need to have within their communities with the people who are the major stakeholders, whether it's local government, the community, the supervisor's office, and we need to get meaningful feedback from the people we work for, whether it's through the supervisor's office, through the manager, the city manager, the mayor, or the council, or community surveys to be able to get a good read from the grassroots level as to how we're actually doing. We need to be responsive to the needs of the community, and we need to be proactive to be able to address the needs before they become an issue.
DUI and driver's license checkpoints that are stationed by deputies throughout Los Angeles County are supported with federal money. Why do you think these checkpoints are the best way to educate the public about the dangers of driving under the influence, and do you think there's an alternative way that might prove more effective?
Yeah, and then you've heard some of it. DUI checkpoints are part of a continuum of education, of prevention, of intervening in a problem situation that has gotten a lot better than it was in the past. We've come light years from where we were 30 years ago. But traffic safety comes down to the 3 E's, as we say in policing: education, engineering, and enforcement. And each piece is critical in ensuring that we have safe streets and that they're as safe as they can be. We've all at this table certainly seen the outcomes of drunk driving, of impaired driving, and the carnage that costs, and then the human cost to families. It tears you apart. What we need really is to stress in the front end, at the youngest age in school, the education piece with our young people. We need to create in the community a sense of outrage when we have it, that we don't tolerate that, we don't nurture it, we don't allow when somebody comes over the house, we're responsible hosts. That's a critical piece to it as well. And then the enforcement piece on the back end is certainly part of that continuum again, and a very important part.
If you had to choose between budget cuts for patrols versus for jail service, how would you make that determination?
In looking at in budget cuts, and you talk about the two options of patrol versus custody, both are core missions of the organization. We need to look at alternatives. Bob mentioned the reserve program, certainly one option, and a very great one in this organization. We need to have secure jails. We need to have safe jails. We also need to have safe streets, and those are what the public's expectations are for us, without a doubt. But we need to do it in a balanced way. As was mentioned, the risk assessment tool, that's an effective one. We need to look at the number of people in custody that possibly could be released in a fashion where they're not a danger to the community. The estimate is about 20% of our jail population are dealing with mental illness problems. Are there ways to be able to treat them in a community forum where they don't have to be incarcerated? Look at pretrial options for those people who are currently awaiting trial. We can create efficiencies out of a $2.8 billion budget. When we look at that and we drill down, there are places other than those two that were mentioned that could create the efficiencies necessary to get us where we need to go.
Thank you. Nice job, everybody. Tough decision, tough issues, tough decision for voters to make on June 3rd, but I'd like to thank the candidates who are with us today for joining us: Bob Olmsted, Todd Rogers, Jim McDonnell, Paul Tanaka, and James Helmold. I'd like to thank our panel of journalists from COC Cougar News: Taylor Villanueva, from AM-1220 KHTS, Perry Smith, and from the Signal newspaper, Luke Money. I'm Leon Warden, reminding you to vote on June 3rd.